You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a man fearing for his safety and the safety of others around him struggles with an armed suspect.
Also, we're following the brick roads in Pittsburgh to learn more about why the city keeps them around.
We've got a few wet roads out there, so we've got some scattered showers and even a couple of thunderstorms, but they will eventually clear out. We'll tell you about today's forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Carrie Worthen. A person fearing for his safety and the safety of others struggles with an armed suspect. The incident happened around 1 a.m. on Saturday. Authorities responded to reports of a gunshot in the area of 5th and Joplin Avenue. Police say that staff of Club XO denied entry to a man, and then the man allegedly went to the car in the parking lot. A citizen says they followed the man and saw him get a AR-style pistol from the car. The citizen then put the suspect in a neck restraint, and the suspect left the scene. They later arrested 28-year-old Christopher Carter of Joplin, who has a felony convictions and is prohibited from possessing a firearm. Carter was released on a $25,000 bond. A man involved in the shooting death of Nevada, Missouri woman learns his sentence. Jason Hollum is sentenced to 32 total years in prison. He was charged with second-degree murder for 25 years. His second-degree assault and second-degree burglary charges are for 7 years each and will run concurrently. The victim was 30-year-old Tara Harlem. The crime happened in 2019. When officers arrived to a home in the 200 block of South Spring Street, they found Jason Hollum and Tara Hollum inside the home. Tara died at the hospital. Authorities say Jason is a prior and persistent offender.
We've got a few scattered showers and some thunderstorms out there. Nothing too crazy this morning, but as you can see, some much needed rain out there so far this morning. We're going to see these clear out of here, watching the possibility of a strong storm or two late tomorrow night into early Thursday morning, and then some scattered thunderstorms for us on our Thursday. Once these storms clear out today, we're actually looking pretty darn good across the area, and then we'll watch tomorrow, where by the afternoon we could see a stray storm or two, not anticipating anything too crazy. And then as we go into Thursday morning, that's when we're expecting to see a few more scattered storms where we could see a strong storm or two across the region. But as you can see, it's very disorganized. And then we start to get a line from Stockton back toward Monette, Neosho, Anderson by noon. But it still itself is not very organized, and it won't get really nasty until it actually rolls out of our area by tomorrow or Thursday afternoon. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, looking good so far. Same for the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. Still some wet roads out there. And you can see the cloud cover. We're in a little bit of a pause in Joplin right now on the rain, but more still on the way. 62, south breeze at 16 out there. Airport still reporting rain, but remember, current conditions in Joplin are reported from the airport, and that's much further north than the majority of the city. And as you saw from the MoDOT camera and from our camera, it's not raining in most of Joplin. 63, Fort Scott, Chinook, Parsons, Chetopa, 61, Miami, Neosho, Carthage, and 60 in Lamar. When we get our day started, we'll have these storms, breezy conditions, winds gusting 25 to 35, and we're still mild though, lower 70s by late morning. These storms gone by noon at the latest, probably earlier than that, and then we clear out, still breezy, temperatures pushing into the lower 80s, and as we head into this evening, a nice clear evening ahead of us, still a bit on the breezy side, mild as well, dropping back once again into the lower 60s. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. Brick roads are a thing of the past, but not for some roads in Pittsburgh, Kansas. KOAM went to Pittsburgh to learn more.
I would like to see the brick roads, but I would like to see them better taken care of.
If you drive through Pittsburgh, you will notice some of the roads are made of brick. Some of these historic roads date back to the 1890s.
Most of our roads are brick. A lot of them already has asphalt over the top of them, but for the most part, in the historical areas, you definitely have some that are supposed to remain brick, but we have plenty of brick roads, and just about every road has brick as a base.
On some of the brick roads, you will see concrete patches.
So when we go in to do a utility cut, we have to go through the surface of the road. We put the utility back together, and then they'll come in with a concrete patch. And so as those continue to break, you get more and more concrete patches.
Casa Bradley wants to see the brick roads better fixed.
Taking care of brick is super difficult, but I think if they were to get like pull that up, like deal with the roots and stuff and find like a way to like move the roots like to grow in a different direction and lay it down, it'll be easier for maintenance in the future, and it will like just give Pittsburgh a better appearance overall.
Paul says that repairs can only be done as budget allows.
They are an important asset in Pittsburgh. Some of them in historical areas are great, but they do create another challenge for us when it comes to getting a road surface that we are happy with the public and they can comfortably drive through Pittsburgh and not bounce all over. So they're a challenge, but you know, we're always working on it. We know where they are, and we'll continue to work on them.
Hall said that right now the city spends a little over $2 million a year on the roads, but could spend more each year on them. Up next, Little Shop of Horrors comes to Joplin, and we'll have some of the cast members here from Joplin High School Theater to tell us all about it.
And later, a new Evil Dead movie is headed to theaters this weekend. We'll tell you about it. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back, but first, here's another live look from Columbus, Kansas. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Little Shop of Horrors is coming to Joplin, and here to tell us all about it, two of the cast members, Lauren Riddle and Lindsay Belknap. Welcome to the show. Good to have you both here. So, are you usually up this early, or is this a new experience for you?
This is a little bit new.
It is definitely a new experience.
Our school starts at like 8:30.
Okay, so my best recommendation is do what you can to not be up too early. Yeah. That's probably the best advice. So, you have this show coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Basically, this show, a lot of people know about it, but some people don't. It's kind of a weird premise where there's a flower shop on this rough side of town, Skid Row, and Seymour works there, and he's in love with Audrey, who I play. And there's some interesting things that happen with a plant that has an interesting appetite. And yeah, some bad things happen, some good things happen. It's a story for sure.
It certainly sounds like it. What's been the most exciting part about getting this all together?
Well, for me personally, this is definitely different because I play Audrey too, which is the plant, and I'm not on stage. I'm just the voice of it, so it's definitely a new experience. And yeah, I think all in all, it's been fun for everyone, and yeah, it's been good.
And you've got a few performances coming up. When can people come and see this?
April 20th through the 22nd. It starts at 7 p.m. And tickets for students and senior citizens are $8 and adults are $10.
All right, and it's going to be, of course, at the Performing Arts Center at the high school. Mm-hmm. So it does certainly sound like an exciting time. What are some of the challenges, especially for you, Lindsay? Like you mentioned, you're playing the voice of a character. You're not actually out there. Does that make it a little more challenging not being part of the action directly?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I'm standing on the side of the stage, so I still get to watch it and see all the action and everything, but I definitely have to get into like the mindset of the plant and, you know, just try to use my voice mainly.
And does that make it difficult to act with a plant?
It's really weird. It is really weird because we have 4 different sizes of the plant, and so you kind of have to alternate like the way you move, and we like kind of started using them recently, so it's a big adjustment, but they're really cool.
Trying to figure out the mood of the plant as well. So.
Yeah, yep.
And is that difficult too, getting into that character of the plant, simply because, again, you're not up on stage, you're off to the side, and even though you can see the action, you're just not in the action.
Yeah, it's definitely weird, and also like kind of like trying to think about like the characteristics and stuff of the plant by just using mostly my voice. It definitely is a challenge, but.
All right, and one more time, when and where?
April 20th through the 22nd at Joplin High School's PAC. $8 for students, senior citizens, $10 for adults. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Well, ladies, thanks for coming in this morning. So make sure you check it out, and we'll have this information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back. Well, a new chapter in the Evil Dead franchise creeps into theaters this weekend.
Rick DeMagello reports.
What is this, Daddy? demonic force terrorizes a family in Evil Dead Rise.
This evil creates terror through total chaos.
It was very important to me in making this movie that the practical effects were kind of at the heart of the experience, because ultimately they're real, and I think it creates a very different vibe in terms of how an audience react to something that feels real on screen.
It was a real gift as a performer because I think especially as a woman, you really don't get roles that come your way like that. It's rare to be able to get 2 roles in a film to begin with, but for one of them to be like just a complete like deranged psychopath crossed with a Tasmanian devil.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
I mean, the beauty of, you know, an Evil Dead film is like how practical it is. Like we were actually being dumped like into a tank of blood that would fill the elevator. I had 30 kilos strapped to me because you float in that blood.
I'm getting this out of here.
You'd be a good mom someday, honey bath.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know how to lie to kids.
Watching with the lights on in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
The film's director was so dedicated to using practical effects that he used over 1,700 gallons of fake blood in the making of this movie. You were covering your eyes the entire way through that.
I do not like scary movies.
See, that's where
Yeah.
I've mentioned it more than once. Amber, my wife, she loves horror movies. She's been begging me to go see this weekend. So I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to go see this
Oh
movie
my
this
gosh,
weekend.
no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
And, you know, honestly, this weekend's going to be a good one to stay indoors anyway because it's going to get chilly. Let's talk about what's going on right now first. We've got showers and a couple of thunderstorms out there still making their way through the area, but they will be out of here by noon at the latest, if not before that. Could see a strong storm or two as we head into tomorrow night and Thursday morning. We're not anticipating anything crazy, but something we're going to keep an eye on for you. Once these storms get out of here, we're going to clear out, and today is going to be a beautiful but breezy day. We'll talk more about today here in just a second. Maybe a straight afternoon shower or storm Wednesday, and then we've got some scattered storms. They're going to try and make their way into the area Thursday morning. You can see they are scattered at best. They try and get into a line, but that line does not intensify until it moves out of our area. Let's skip through the cameras because we know the roads are wet and everything like that. There's the clouds from 7th and Rangeline. Quick look at temperatures. We are at 62 Joplin, 63 Pittsburgh, Chanute, Parsons, Chatopa, 61 Miami, Neosho. We get today started. Scattered storms, breezy, winds gusting 25, 35 miles an hour, lower 70s by late morning. And we head into the afternoon. We're going to be clearing out, still breezy, temperatures pushing the lower 80s, overnight lows tonight in the lower 60s. I want to talk about this weekend, though. Look at this, 37 Friday night, and then we could break some records Saturday and Saturday night as we drop below freezing, so make sure you're protecting your outdoor vegetation. We're back with more of the KOAM Morning News in just a couple of minutes, but first, here's a quick live look from Columbus.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us today in 2 is 2 students from MSSU Kinesiology Department. I say that right?
Yep.
Okay. To tell us all about the Puppy 5K run. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I heard it's called the Puppy Glow Run. So tell us why.
So initially we wanted to do a puppy theme, but we weren't sure if that would be okayed for us to have puppies on campus. So we went with our backup plan, which was like neon glow theme since it is a later run. And we did get the approval for puppies on campus, and so we had to kind of merge our themes together because we already had t-shirt designs ready for the glow run.
So it's at night?
Yes, it's 5 p.m.
So people can bring their puppies and wear glow sticks, I assume?
Sure.
Okay. So tell us why you guys are doing this.
So this run is our 9th annual run in honor of Lori Flug. She was a MSSU Kinesiology Department graduate, and she got hired by Mercy Hospital, who is one of our gracious donors for the run, and she got cancer and she passed away recently after being hired to Mercy. And so initially the run started out as a golf tournament in her honor, and then we switched it to a run, and it's been going for 9 years now.
So where does this money go to that you guys raise?
It goes to the Lori Flug Endowment Scholarship, and it's for kinesiology students at MSSU.
So for people who don't know what kinesiology is, like I did not till just a few minutes ago, go ahead and why don't you tell us what that is?
So it's like athletic trainers, like study of the body, like anything to do with like sports related, like athletes, like A lot of athletic trainers and personal trainers go there.
Okay. So are you guys going to run?
No, we just help.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just work it.
Well, that's a good excuse.
Yeah.
So where is this going to be held at?
So it's actually going to start and end at the Leggett and Platt Athletics Center on Missouri Southern's campus.
Okay, and tell us what date is it going to be again?
It's going to be April 30th, and it's going to start at 5:15 exactly.
PM, not
yes,
AM.
PM. Registration opens up at 4:30.
Okay, so there you have it. Go out and support a good cause. You can bring your dog or not bring your dog. You can wear glow sticks. You get a shirt if you want to. So we'll be right back, guys.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:25. Improvements will soon take off at the Joplin Regional Airport thanks to a massive funding grant. The airport is receiving an $860,000 grant to update airfield lighting and control monitoring system in the control tower. The money comes from a bipartisan infrastructure bill that provides $15 billion to U.S. airports over 5 years for repairs and modernization. Every year, $20 million is set aside for airports with a FAA contract tower, such as Joplin's.
So the tower was built in 2009. All that equipment is original to the building, so it's 14 years old. A lot of them are old enough now that you can't get replacement parts for them, so we just need to go through and replace much of the equipment.
The airport plans to install the new equipment in June. The Joplin Convention and Visitors Bureau is now offering grants to market events and attractions that will happen next year. Patrick Tuttle with the city says every year they have $140,000 that's in the fund to be handed out as grants. Applicants can seek up to $25,000 per event, and the hope is to reach potential visitors from outside of Joplin.
The best way to grow is get the word out that they're having this event, and that's what we kind of work with them on that part. We're looking for guests that are from 70 miles away or greater, because that's most likely going to be generating a hotel night.
The city is accepting grant applications until early June. And some more good news, thanks to another funding grant, Joplin residents can look forward to a new outdoor recreation area. Missouri Governor Mike Parsons announced a more than $1.4 million grant to build a new outdoor space south of Zorro Avenue and east of Lone Elm Road. The nearly 100-acre area will include bicycle-related amenities ranging from a BMX-style pump track, a children's bike playground, and 5 to 7 miles of single-track mountain bike trail. No word yet when construction will begin or completion date.
We've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. Those hold on through about noon at the latest, but they may be gone even before that. Will be breezy, winds gusting 25, 35 miles an hour, but mild up into the lower 70s by late morning. Once the storms are gone, we go to sunny skies, still breezy, but temperatures today, yeah, that's no mistake, pushing the lower 80s. And when I show you the 7-day, you're going to just be in shock here. But it is the 4 states. Clear skies, still breezy this evening, mild again, dropping back down to the lower 60s for overnight lows. Storm chances late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, lower 70s, lower 60s. Now for the big reveal. If you've got outdoor vegetation, make sure it is ready and protected or inside by Friday afternoon. We're down to 37 Friday, could break records on Saturday, 51 and 30 for the low. A little warmer on Sunday, 59, near 70 Monday, pushing back to the mid-70s toward the middle of next week with some additional thunderstorm chances. But really, get ready for this big weekend cool down. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. An arrest warrant out for 84-year-old Andrew Lester, the white homeowner accused of shooting and injuring 16-year-old Ralph Yarrow last Thursday. As Penton Headley reports, those two live in the neighborhood, say they are still shocked by the incident.
Our neighbors.
For 32 years, Karen Allman has lived on 115th Street.
This neighborhood has always been a very quiet neighborhood.
Her house is a few doors down from where Ralph Yarrow was shot.
If you're that scared at 10:30 at night, why did you open the door?
She said she's still shocked about what happened just up the street.
The fact that you open the door and then shoot the person on the other side, and it's a kid.
The home of 84-year-old Andrew Lester is now tagged with graffiti and eggs.
I felt compelled to come have my feet on the ground out here.
It's drawn dozens of people as they learn more about what happened, like Trisha Loftus and her daughter Ashlyn.
We came from LA out to Kansas City to just show support and see how we could be involved advocating for justice and just advocating for what we feel is right as humans.
It still even today is complete shock that anybody would do that.
For now, this once quiet neighborhood will remain on edge as the community waits for answers and accountability.
I think we need to keep speaking about it. This isn't going to go away if we don't talk about it and have a dialogue.
Lester was taken into custody on April 13th, but was released just 2 hours later. His current whereabouts are unknown at this time. If convicted, he could spend life in prison. This morning, we are discussing your health.
Signs can be subtle at first. Parkinson's disease is a progressive condition that typically isn't diagnosed until physical symptoms appear, like tremors and trouble balancing. But new lab tests may be changing that.
The new test can detect traces of a key protein that abnormally clumps in the brain of a person with Parkinson's disease. One test, SignTap, looks for seeds of the protein in spinal fluid. A large study by the Michael J. Fox Foundation found that overall the test correctly identified people with Parkinson's disease 88% of the time and correctly ruled out 96% of the time.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Are you honest with your doctor when it comes to your health? So far, 84% of you say you do the right thing. You are honest with your doctor and tell them all those details. 16% of you say you do not. So make sure you are honest because, again, that goes back to early detection. They can't pick up on things early if you're not honest about even some of the most minor symptoms you may be experiencing.
That's true. I have a doctor's appointment today, and my goal is to tell them everything.
Okay, see, that's the right goal to have.
All right, that's a look at our top news stories coming up on this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. If it's Tuesday, you know what time it is. We got Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission in the studio this morning to show us how to make lemon berry muffins.
And we've got those showers out there across the area. Look at that flag blowing in the breeze, though. It's also going to be windy and warm. We'll talk about that full forecast here in a few more minutes. But first, take a look at this. This is a live look from Columbus. We'll be back with more in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission joining us yet again. We have had so many good recipes over the last few months since I've been here and you've come back, and we've got even more good recipes here for us in April. So what have we got for us today?
Well, the Kansas Soybean Commission is celebrating National Soy Foods Month in April. A great opportunity to learn more about soy if you're not familiar with it. We're also offering this great booklet. It's a 15-page spiral booklet filled with the recipe that we're going to feature today, but also a lot of great information. If people want to know why they should include soy in the diet, they should have a goal of 25 grams of soy of protein every day. Okay. So that's our guide, and this will help us. So what we're going to do to make these wonderful lemon berry muffins is I've got our sugar in here. You're going to add our soy ingredient, and that's vegetable oil. Right. And you know, a lot of people don't probably realize that if they're purchasing vegetable oil, the only ingredient in there is soybeans. So when it says vegetable oil,
I didn't know that either.
Yes,
so, okay.
Yes. Okay, now you're going to add an egg to this. Great. And then lemon juice, and I squeezed a fresh lemon juice. Whoops. That is so good to add all that flavor. And then we have some lemon zest.
Okay.
Thank you. Get all that great. Little vanilla. Great. And then the recipe book in here says to add the milk later, but a traditional muffin recipe, we're going to go ahead and add the soy milk right now, the plain milk. So we have all the liquid in here together. And then I am going to give you the flour here. and let you mix that up just a little bit with the whisk.
I see, I was trying to show off the lemon juice.
You did good. That's okay.
So these muffins don't have as much lemon juice as you're supposed to have, but just make sure you follow the recipe and don't spill it everywhere like I did.
Now I'm going to let you add that in here. Okay. What you were mixing there was the flour with the baking powder and baking soda and salt. Put that in there, and we'll just mix this up. The other thing I like to do is to add our berries now, and we have raspberries and blueberries that we're adding. Aren't those colorful?
Those are.
And when you add it right now, that flour there kind of coats them so they separate, and that way you're assured you're going to have fruit in every bite when you make it. How's that look?
If we had smell-o-vision, this already smells delicious.
So we'll just mix that, and then what we would do, because this has a topping on it, is that we take, and I like to use this because that helps you portion it out. And again, this recipe from the booklet says that it makes 12 muffins, but I got 24 this size. So if you want to make 12, which would be a jumbo muffin, then get a little bit bigger muffin cup and a bigger muffin pan than you have there. And then you have, right before it goes in the oven, it has a crumb topping with cinnamon and margarine on it that you can put on to make these. How does that look?
They look incredible. And of course, real quick, you've got this book.
Yes. Take advantage of this. The link is on your website, I believe, but it's also at kansassoybeans.org. And then also they can call our 800 number, 877-KS-SOYBEAN, and ask Megan there. She'll help you get it and also send you all the recipes for the month of April.
All right, Charlene, thank you so much. As you mentioned, you can also find this at KOAMNewsNow.com. We will be back with more right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Still have a few showers, even a couple of rumbles of thunder out there, but you can see they're starting to break up in some parts, and they will be on their way out of here within the next 2 to 3 hours. Once they clear out, though, we've got an absolutely beautiful but breezy day ahead of us. We've got thunderstorm chances, maybe a couple of scattered storms or showers as we head into Wednesday afternoon, and then we've got better chances of a few more scattered storms as we go into Thursday morning across the area. Not anticipating much out of this activity, but you can see we go through 10 a.m. There it is. We get a little bit of a line, maybe a strong storm or two. It's not likely out of this line. It will intensify, though, as it moves off to our east and kicks on out of our viewing area. And by Thursday, they're anticipating some severe weather to our south and east. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range line. Plenty of cars on the road and moving nicely, and another great view, but cloudy. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. There's another look at those clouds. Plenty of them out there. 62 in Joplin. South breeze at 16 miles an hour. Across the area, 63 Fort Scott, 61 Pittsburgh, 62 Parsons Chatopa, 59 in Miami, 58 in Neosho, and 61 in Carthage. We get our day started hanging on to a few scattered shower storms, breezy, low 70s by late morning. Into the afternoon, we clear out, still breezy, but much warmer. We're looking at highs in the lower 80s. And tonight, another mild evening, clear skies, a bit breezy, 67 by 10, overnight low of 60. We got those thunderstorm chances late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, lower 70s, lower 60s. And then what we're worried about for plants, vegetation, anything that you can cover or bring inside, do so by Friday. We're down to 37 Friday night, could break record Saturday, 51, 30 for the low. So make sure you're prepared for this very cold weekend coming up. Then we start to warm right back up. We're upper 60s, 70, mid 70s by the middle of next week with some additional thunderstorm chances. Carrie?
Thanks, Chris. In Consumer Watch this morning, get ready for changes to some of your favorite burgers at McDonald's. The restaurant chain says it's upgrading its signature burgers. The changes include softer buns, gooier cheese, and onions added right from the grill. And Big Macs will serve with more sauce. The upgrades will also be made for the McDouble burger, the classic cheeseburger, double cheeseburger, and hamburger. People can already try out the new burgers in some U.S. cities, including Los Angeles, Seattle, Phoenix, and Las Vegas. McDonald's says the new menu will be available across the country by early next year. The White House is ramping up efforts to expand across access to electric vehicles in the U.S. It's announced new partnerships with Zip, car, and Uber round 2 of the Biden administration's EV Acceleration Challenge. This latest initiative includes Zipcar pleading to allocate 25% of its electric vehicles to disadvantaged communities this year. Uber has committed to reach 400 million miles driven by electric vehicles on its platform by the end of this year. Other companies have also pleaded to invest in more charging stations. The administration says it's aiming to have 50% of all new vehicle sales by electric by the year 2030. It says since Biden took office, electric vehicle sales have tripled, and the number of publicity available charging ports have grown by 40%. If you're traveling with your family this summer but haven't booked flights, get ready for some sticker shock. U.S. domestic fares are forecast to exceed pre-pandemic prices as the summer travel heats up, but they're expected to be lower than they were last year at their peak. Patrick Cornell has 5 ways to save money and prep for what's expected to be wild summer travel season.
If you're planning to travel with your family this summer, a bit of planning can save you money as airfare prices soar.
You're seeing airfare today look approximately where it was pre-pandemic.
Travel expert Scott Keyes has these 5 tips to enjoy your family vacay without breaking the bank. Number 1, book flights now. Keyes recommends booking at least a month before your summer travel.
Airfare tends to move in one direction in the last few weeks before a flight, and it's not down. It almost always goes up. By May, there's almost no hope.
Which brings us to number 2. Be flexible with your travel dates. Either shift them earlier or later to find cheaper options. Number 3, consider going abroad.
London has gotten a ton of extra capacity added. A new budget airline called North Atlantic Airways has started to add nonstop flights from all over the U.S.
Number 4, be open to alternative destinations. Kai says instead of going to popular spots like Hawaii or Miami, go to underappreciated locations like Banff, Canada.
Tourism between the U.S. and Canada is still down about 20% from where it was pre-pandemic. And so you're going to, this is a place that would typically be quite crowded, especially during the middle of summer.
And finally, prepare for any potential summer travel frenzy. Get to the airport early, skip checking in your bags in case your flight has changed, and know your rights.
When you get that schedule change notification, don't view it as a negative. View it as an opportunity to get switched to a better flight without having to pay anything out of pocket.
We'll be right back after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
A Nebraska man is turning military history into music. Phil Whitmarsh is using deck wood from an old battleship to make electric guitars, and it's all for a good cause. John Grinvalds reports.
It started as a passion project during the darker days of the pandemic, taking pieces of history and making them sing. Now, plenty of blood, sweat, and splinters later, what started as deck wood from a ship that saw action in both world wars will make music wherever it goes.
It's so gratifying to see the final product and to know that it is an instrument that can be played and enjoyed, that it takes the life cycle of the material to the next level.
They don't look or sound like your typical glossy music store guitars, and that's the point.
Part of the beauty of these instruments are the nail holes. They are the cracks and holes that have been filled in.
For Phil, this work started with a hypothesis that the rich history of a piece of wood can change its sound. He's working on a guitar with wood from Oak Island, an area scoured for treasure and believed by some to be cursed, to a similar effect.
Whether it comes from factory wood or print shop wood or a homestead, the spirit and the memories of that place and those faces go right into the hard drive of the wood, if you will.
Phil has 2 guitars ready, and at least one will get auctioned off to help the USS Texas as it undergoes $35 million worth of repairs.
Whitmarsh says he hopes to get more wood from the Battleship Foundation so he can make a series of guitars for charity. We've still got a few showers and even a couple of thunderstorms hanging around the area. On the Skywatch Storm Tracker, you can see that, but it is beginning to break apart and will continue to move on out of here over the next, 2 or 3 hours. Then, as we go into the rest of today, we've got an absolutely gorgeous day lined up for us. However, we head to Wednesday, a bit more clouds, a bit breezier. Few showers in the afternoon, perhaps, and we will then watch for the possibility of thunderstorms as we head into Thursday morning across the area. Here's 6 a.m. You can see they're widely scattered through the morning. And then we try and get a little line going from Stockton back to Monette, Neosho, and Anderson, but it doesn't really intensify until it rolls east of the area, and that's where they're anticipating some of the severe storms as we head into Thursday. 20th and Range Line, MoDOT camera there. Plenty of cars getting ready for the morning drive, or in the morning drive rather, but as you can see, not raining. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400, but the roads have still been wet from some of those showers we've been seeing across the area, and there's the cloud cover from those showers out there. 62 in Joplin, south breeze at 16 miles an hour, and we'll still see occasional gusts of that 25-35 mile an hour range. 61 Pittsburgh, 63 Chanute, 62 Chetopa, 59 Miami, and 58 in Neosho. You get our day started. Again, a few of those showers, thunderstorms hanging on. Lower 70s by late morning, still breezy. Breezy into the afternoon. We turn to sunny skies by the afternoon, and highs pushing the lower 80s across the area. That leaves us with another mild evening, still breezy, clear, 67 by 10, overnight low of 60. I wanted to touch on our 7 days, so some storm chances Thursday and Friday, lower 70s, lower 60s, and then Saturday, we could potentially break records for cold weather here for the high and for the low of 51 and 30, and we start getting colder Friday night at 37. So if you've got any plants outdoors, anything you need to cover or bring in, do so by Friday. We're going to be cold through the weekend, warming back up into next week. Temperatures reaching the mid-70s by midweek with some additional thunderstorm chances. We'll be back with more right after this. Here's the check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities say at about 4:30 Monday afternoon, a single vehicle overturned off the right side of I-44 and ended up in the trees. Joplin Fire rescued the driver and the infant passenger from the wreckage. Joplin Police Department says the driver and an infant passenger were transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Joplin Regional Airport receives an $860,000 grant to update the airfield lighting and control and monitoring systems in the control tower. Money comes from a bipartisan infrastructure bill that provides $15 billion to U.S. airports over 5 years for repairs and modernization. Every year, $20 million is set aside for airports with an FAA contract tower, such as Joplin's. And the Joplin Convention and Visitors Bureau is now offering grants to market events and attractions that will happen next year. Patrick Tuttle with the city says every year they have $140,000 that's in the fund to be handed out as grants. Applicants can seek up to $25,000 per event, and the hope is to reach potential visitors from outside the Joplin area. We've got ourselves a pretty decent day today. We're going to start to clear out from the showers this morning. Sunny skies, breezy, gusts 25-30 miles an hour, lower 80s for highs. We stay mild this evening, clear, still a bit breezy, 67 by 10, overnight low of 60. And then we got a big cool down coming. Some thunderstorms Thursday, Friday, and then Friday night into the 30s. We could break records on Saturday with much colder air, but we will eventually start to warm up as we head into next week. Well, today is National Lineman Appreciation Day. Linemen are the workers who keep our electricity running, from the power plant to the meters on our homes. These men and women build and maintain the power grid that keeps our nation going, and they work tirelessly to return service to areas hit by severe weather. Even when there is no emergency, linemen work under risky and dangerous conditions in trenches, near water, and on high towers. Look around. If you're using power right now, you've got a lineman to thank today, and they certainly do have a very dangerous job. And as mentioned, it's not just during severe weather. They're out there any time of day. There was a transformer that blew in my neighborhood last night. We didn't lose power, but we heard it, and they've got to go out and take care of that. And then they are in riskier conditions during thunderstorms trying to restore power as well. So make sure you thank one of them. And we want to thank you. so much for letting us put the good into your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon. Have a great morning and an even better day.